Hey, Death.
Hello.
Howdy there.
Oh, is this the judge?
I am.
Well, good morning, Judge.
Good morning. After me, please.
Looky there.
Hey, day morning.
Thought you turned into a ghost.
Who, me? Nah.
Thank you.
Take a seat. Mr. Terra, have you had your charges read to you?
Um, over a period of time. They seem pretty confused about what the actual charges were, so a full list might be nice.
Very well.
Maybe you can sort out the mess that is their fucking paperwork.
Let's see. Right.
Were you reading something there?
Yeah, fellow by the name Hawthorne. You ever heard of him?
Oh, yeah, I have not.
This particular story is actually pretty appropriate to the conversation, I reckon, about meeting the devil at the crossroads. Saying no again and again and again until you realize that all your people already said yes. So why not?
And who's the devil in your story?
Well, the devil is just a traveler in this story, in this book here. I don't believe in no devil. Devil's just a metaphor like everything else.
I think the devil's a reality.
Oh yeah? What you reckon the devil is? Some opposite of God? Some fallen angel?
I believe the devil can be anywhere at any time.
Well, that's just so, ain't it? An idea, principle, a metaphor. That's what it all is at the end of the day. Same with the legacy that y'all have built up around me and my people. Ain't nothing but a metaphor. Half truths. You know, it's what we make it at the end of the day.
Half truths and metaphors.
The problem is that our filing system has been totally fucked recently.
Oh, I know, sir. I've been dealing with. Well, it took Geo and Max probably 40 minutes to piece together what they could.
Well, they are able to piece together more than what I'm able to at this time. Let's see here.
Well, you want me to give you the list that they gave me? I mean, I pled guilty to all of them. I don't really care. I did it open faced with, understanding of consequences.
Let's see here.
When you get back to whatever little office you keep, recommend looking at some of these other files, having a look at the charges that have been brought up against people, yeah? Look at the rap sheets on some of these folk, and then compare it to us, and you tell me how we is the enemy of the fucking state.
What were you charged with? Did they say that you were being charged with?
Oh, Lord have mercy. I got charges for 2 separate incidents. I got charges for breaking out 2 of my boys from the sheriff's office, and I got another set of charges for the train and bank robbery. So it would be unlawful escape. I guess it was aggravated, or at least 2 counts of hostage taken. Evading.
I've got 1 times unlawful escape, 3 times kidnapping, 1 times obstruction of justice, 1 times brandishing a weapon, 1 times disturbing the peace, and 1 times assault with a deadly weapon. I assume that you will also be charged with bank robbery.
Aye, those were, and grand theft, I guess, for the train. See, the thing is, I ain't trying to make my life more difficult, but the state of the law in this goddamn state is ridiculous. Technically, yeah, I broke 2 people out of jail. Why there only 1 count? Yeah, I mean, I did in front of multiple lawmen. Shit, I had one of my hostages was a lawman. You telling me that no one wrote that shit down?
I can't speak towards what the law did or didn't do.
I mean, you enforcing the law, you think that you care a little bit about the incompetency wrapping through it.
I'm not enforcing anything, madam. My job is to sit in fair judgment of those who are charged with a crime by the state of Monroe.
Aye, arbiter. You don't think that's enforcement?
Well, I believe that it is my job to see good order as best as I possibly can, but I can't necessarily just throw my weight around and demand that this way do that and that way do this, and etc., etc.
Demanding bank incompetency seems fair.
I believe that the law in this state is largely in a state of disarray, but I suppose that's a conversation that should be had at another time. Right now, there are charges that you have to answer for, and I have to know whether you plead guilty or not guilty.
I plead guilty to everything on everything listed there. I mean, I think a little bit trumped up. I mean, brandishing is a bit of a stretch.
All right. And I hear rumor that you and others made a threat concerning me, and I'm just very interested to see where that comes from. Something about how I was going to be hung or something along those lines.
Oh, that we were gonna hang you from the biggest tree that we could find. Yes, sir. That is what we said.
Right.
Would you like the context for the threat, or?
Oh, certainly.
Well, the context of it is, this is, mind you, the only reason that we're even wanted by law is because some other gangsters started a gunfight with us. Yeah, just to be clear, we didn't do nothing to law. All right. Now, after one of our friends died in a gunfight, items were taken off of his dead fucking body, desecrating his fucking body, might I add. Disgusting fucking behavior. Not only that, you yourself, Ellery, and I struggled to understand why you would want me to explain this, but you had Gio put a gun to the back of my friend's head and threatened to blow his fucking face in, and then you beat the shit out of him in the fucking basement. So, I don't know. The way I see it, that's a fair judgment, don't you think?
Well, I suppose that if you believe that that's what took place.
Sweetie, You just admitted the same thing to Wes out there on that bridge. You can play all your games, you know. It's fine. I understand it. I've played similar games myself in order to fear people. But don't pretend you otherwise. You did what you did. You endorse what you endorse. And you enforce the way you choose to enforce. At least have the decency to fucking, you know, wear that on your fucking sleeve.
I suppose that's entirely reasonable. I take great exception to the existence of individuals who, well, I suppose just feel that violence is the only answer to their problems. And you say that you're in here because another group of, how did you put it?
The gangsters, I guess.
Gangsters. Another group of gangsters started a gunfight, and that's why you're in here. No, you're in here because you are responsible for leading an organization that has, at the best, questionable morals, and I suppose at the worst, no morals at all.
Well, maybe by your estimation.
Well, is it, do you believe, unfair for me to feel that way?
I don't know about fair and unfair, mister, to be honest. You ever read any Kierkegaard?
No, I'm afraid I have not.
I was about 17 or so. Stole a copy of one of his books from a shop. Title's roughly translated something like either or. Way this guy figured it, yeah? The only truth there is a God. And he ain't nothing like us. He's so unlikeless that we can't ever know him, yeah? So truth, or in other words, objectivity, you know, right and wrong, black and white, ain't something we can ever really know. All we got is our internal sense of truth. And you might have yours, Mr. Judge, but, I mean, that's not necessarily gonna be mine. I ain't never hurt no innocent person. I ain't never robbed somebody that didn't deserve it or could afford it. In fact, none of y'all even knew who he was, really. Until very recently, when some other people who keep their mess all over the towns and all over the cities decided to drag us fucking into it. Because we don't got no disrespect for people. We ain't got no disrespect for the law. The only reason shit been going harder with the law lately is because y'all treat us with such fucking disrespect when all we have done is try to mitigate the lives lost, mitigate the bloodshed, because we didn't want none of that. We got some little fucking birdies playing victims, trying to cast as some big bad monsters. We got some fucking wannabe fucking like New York bigwigs trying to run the place in fucking Saint Denis, acting fucking fools. I mean, these boys got charges more than I've ever even done, let alone been convicted of. And might I add, I ain't been convicted of a lot, sir. Have a look at my file, you know, it ain't like that. We ain't some sloppy people out there hounding the fucking state of Monroe. No. That's just a fucking story people are spinning. It's all subjectivity. It ain't about who we actually is or if we're good or bad people. It's because we stepped outside this little order that you have set up, yeah? Ain't nothing more.
Well, that's the problem, see, is you've stepped outside the order for which I have set up. And
yeah, understood. But
you've displayed a great amount of disrespect to me, and
have I? Because the way
well,
I
I
see
think
it,
you
you
have.
show disrespect to us, and like just like us, you're just a man, sir, and you don't get to desecrate people. You don't get to threaten them outside of the law, outside of order, because it wasn't no execution, it wasn't no sentencing to death. It was a fucking fear tactic. So let me ask you, sir, if you're so against people using violence as their only, you know, source of resolution, why is it your first choice?
Well, I suppose that it's my first choice because I suppose that it's necessary, for lack of a better term, to fight evil with evil. I think that's what Ezra said. Evil is needed to fight evil. And
Ezra's got his own ideas about the world, most certainly.
I feel that sometimes we had a conversation many weeks back in the road sheriff's office that he equated to meeting the devil in the road sheriff's office. find that quite amusing. See, because this social construct that you're talking about, the one that you feel that you are educated enough to speak on, is not something that I have established. It's not something that I woke up one day and just imagined into realities. This social construct that has been established here in this state is the same social construct in many other states in our union. It is a social construct in many other nations on our planet, and it is a social construct by which we, together, must agree to behave. Now, if I have to be heavy handed or rude or harsh or even violent to stop you all from doing it, then that's just what that is, madam.
I acknowledge that you believe that
But
to
see,
be
if I
so.
was the real evil that you.
I never said you were evils, mister.
Well,
I don't give the devil
I
neither.
suppose that if I was the true evil that Ezra thinks I am, the gun that Geo put to Ezra's head would have been loaded, and we would have just blown his shit for brains all over the fucking wall.
Maybe so, but like I say, it ain't a matter of evil. It's a matter of what people do with power, yeah? It ain't about morality. Don't pretend when you do something like that, a power tactic like that, a fear tactic, that you're looking for justice or setting things in order. Nah, nah. You enjoy shit like that. Don't pretend otherwise.
I have a question, if you don't mind, Justice. I'd like to pose to Val here.
Please, by
What's your
all
name,
means,
fella?
she seems to know me so very well.
I don't think I know you at all, mister. I just think all people are people.
Well, my name is Ford, Ford Love. I work with Mr. Ellery here, Justice Ellery.
Well, good to meet you, mister.
Hmm. The question I have for you here, and I think it is the base of this conversation here. Do you believe that no matter the reason, any animal that bites a human, let's say, is is inherently bad?
No, it's just a dog.
Hmm. There is a difference, see, between the predator and the protector. The predators, the ones who choose to go after and bite and kill the weak or the innocent. That is different than those that bite to defend them. On the other hand,
I'd agree, but I don't think that's accurate analogy. Like I say, I ain't never shot no
hmm,
innocent person. I ain't never robbed no innocent person. Neither, to be clear.
But you have,
No.
and your gang has. Let's not pretend that
What innocent
that's.
people?
Well, you took hostages when you robbed the bank, did you not?
We didn't harm none of them.
Did you take hostages?
Ah, yes. I ain't
Did you
denying we
threaten them in
broke.
order to take them?
No, actually.
How did you take them? How did you force them along?
Well, Charlie, for example, I told him to get on my fucking horse. And he
Or
got on my
what?
fucking horse. I didn't give him or.
But what? Let me just ask you, what would you have done if I'd have said, let's say you were taking me hostage, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were taking me hostage, and you rode up with you and your posse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your group, and you said, get on the fucking horse, and I say, eat shit and die, bitch. What would you say?
Well, I don't think what I would say actually matters because this is pedantic fucking argument. I ain't
Well, no, I'm
saying
just
I
saying
ain't saying that I didn't commit no crime. Yeah, I'm saying I didn't hurt nobody. I scared them, sure.
right,
I threatened, sure.
but you would have hurt them
No, no,
if you were
I
pressed to it.
no. I mean, if they took up a gun and was gonna shoot me, yeah.
But if they'd have said, get fucked, I'm not getting on your horse, you'd have said, all right, and then rode off?
Nah, I would have threatened them.
Right.
Cause fear, as you know, Mr. Ellery, is a powerful fucking tool. Doesn't mean I hurt him.
See, you seem to believe that I am doing what I am doing because power makes me feel good. That's something
No, no. I think that people get
that I
carried up.
enjoy
No,
fear.
I think people get swept up in power. because it's exhilarating. I know that as much as any other person. I think that's a tendency of man, not as you as a person, mister. I'm just talking about
I'm
it.
going to tell
Participation in
you,
this
and
at
you
all.
likely will not care very much about this, but
Oh, I do care. I care about
I'll tell
the
you a
thoughts in
little bit
this.
about me.
Please do.
I was born in the 30s, 1837 to be exact. And as I grew older, obviously the nation was torn apart in its conflict against brother versus brother. And I took up arms, as many young people would do, to defend what I felt was my morals, my requirement to service of my nation.
Mm-hmm.
And I rode as a cavalry officer for a long time. And after my service to my nation, I rode, continued to ride in the United States Cavalry against natives. And every time we engaged the natives, and every time we engaged those who opposed the United States, we felt that we were doing the right thing. We felt that we were justified in our behavior. And I've killed men, and I've killed women, and I've killed children with my sword and my rifle and my pistol. And, I've rode them down as they were running from me screaming. I've seen true terror in the eyes of my enemy, or what I perceived to be my enemy. But I suppose in the end, I realized that didn't make me powerful. Killing those people didn't make me powerful. Following orders and gaining rank and privilege and status and money, that didn't make me feel truly powerful. Sometimes it often made me feel sick. Now, it took me a while to realize this, but eventually I realized it. And in 1862, I entered a law career. Ran very much in tandem with my military career. As you know, I'm sure that the Army needs lawyers as well. But as I grew older, I realized that, as Mr. Love put it, sometimes there is a necessity for the sheepdog, as I would put it, the sheepdog, to guard the herd. And sometimes that sheepdog has to be violent. Sometimes that sheepdog may be considered to be evil, but none of it made me feel powerful. This conversation doesn't make me feel powerful. What I did to Ezra didn't make me feel powerful. And you know what's fun is that of all the fear that I have seen in my enemy's eyes, do you know what Ezra did when Geo put that gun to his head?
Yeah, no.
He smiled. Now, either that's because he wanted me to believe that he wasn't afraid when I could clearly smell the odor of shit filling his pants, or it's because Ezra and you and Wes are all cut from the same cloth. You feel that your debauchery, that your degenerate behavior somehow is justified because you don't go out and shoot innocent people, yet you have no problem robbing and stealing and threatening. You'll sit at the end of that table facing me, and you will pretend like you have a more high ground, and that I am just the evil man who is pushing up the hypocrisy that is our social construct.
No.
If I wanted to be evil, Val, I would show you the true meaning of evil.
Mr. Judge, I've said very clearly, multiple times, I don't think you're evil. I don't think I'm good. I don't think I'm justified. I just also don't think you is. I don't think that it's really about that at the end of the day. You acknowledge yourself. Law ain't justice. It's order. And order is predefined, and sure, yeah, there might be a social construct about. People might agree that these are certain things, but we all agree that there's exceptions, yeah? And I ain't saying Robin's good or, it's not an unkind thing to do. None of that. What I'm saying is this ain't about good and evil. I don't hurt people. I live
What's
by
it
my own
about?
rules. What's it about? It's about living in the way that is given us. You talk about growing up, and talk about going to war. And yeah, we all got our hardships, yeah? But the first time I had a gun in my hand, I was 6 years old. Put in my hands by my daddy. He was so sick, he wanted to be shot like a dog. I was too young to do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't understand really what it was. But some people are born into a certain kind of life. It ain't one of education. Everything that I learned on my own. Everything I've done, I've had to do on my own, up until very recently. It ain't about right and wrong. It's about using the skills that we have. Because at the end of the day, any sense of authority you have as arbiter of the law ain't about arbiter of morality and justice and what's right and wrong. That's between me and fucking God, if there is one.
Mr. Detara. You can go back and forth all day about how there can be all kinds of order and all kinds of justice. The reality is there are many kinds of order out there in the world. Many people have many ideas of what order should be. To some it is tyranny, and to others it is democracy.
Hi, this man's actually listening to what I'm saying. Wonderful.
However, you, Mr. Tarver, are in Monroe. You are in the United States of America.
Yes, sir. And that's why I turned myself in and pled guilty.
And it is why you cannot make the excuse that you grew a certain way. You had every opportunity, every day of your life, to make a change for the better. You are clearly intelligent. You can read, and I can imagine you write. You had every day of your life until now to make a change. What I'm hearing, Mr. Tarver, is a whole lot of excuses.
I think it's a response to the moral high ground and the sense of superiority. Now, like I say, both of you, I acknowledge the crimes I've done. I pled guilty. I have no problems facing the consequences of that. But to sit here and call me evil or paint it in some kind of legend that we all is, some mythical fucking monsters terrorizing the fucking state of Monroe, is just... it's a fairy tale.
I don't necessarily paint you as some sort of mythical creature. I paint you as what you wish to be painted like. When you met Charlie on that balcony in Saint Denis, and you made the comments that you made, Wes made the comments that he made. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, this is all information that I've heard third or fourth hand, but it is my understanding that comments to the effect of, we will kill and destroy as many as we can, we will bring pain and suffering. Something along that line was said.
Yeah, do you know why it was said and what the stipulation was? That wasn't a promise like we're doing that right now. Was it explained what the entire message?
Oh, from my understanding, it was because of some sort of perceived injustice that took place in this cell.
Do you think that taking items from a dead man and pocketing them for yourselves is all gravy? You don't think that's an injustice?
I don't believe that injustice calls for the shooting of individuals.
I mean...
If I did believe that, I would kill every grave robber.
I mean, shit, I have shot every grave robber I've ever found, so...
Well, I suppose you have done what I wish that I was able to do, but perhaps that's a
Well,
conversation from another time. No, I
without
do
the
not believe in
constraints.
taking. I do not believe in taking belongings from a corpse. It is appropriate behavior.
Yeah, maybe you'd be better served outside of
Wait,
order,
is this
Mr.
Judge?
Ellery.
That's Hillary.
You got fans, Ellery.
Apparently, I have been found.
Lord.
Just take your hat off there, take a seat, and get your hair.
What do you
straightened
think
out
would be justice in your case, Miss Val?
I think it's a loaded word. I think you asking me what my punishment should be. Yeah.
Very well. What do you believe that your punishment should be?
I suppose the letter of the law in this situation. Although, frankly, I've well served that time. Been helped till speaking with you is more metaphor, right? More a message than anything. Not any one of the charges actually leveled on me.
Well, you're being held because you are a threat to society.
Am I?
You are.
I don't
Not
think
because
so.
I want to see your gorgeous, shining face. No, it is because you and your organization have made comments to the effect of killing and maiming will become the status quo should you not get your way, or should you not have items returned to you, or should you find me, you will hang me from the tallest tree or the biggest tree you can. Now, to me, I have thick skin, like I said. I'm an old man. I'm ready to die. I faced death long ago. But there are a great many other people that take your comments very seriously and are deeply concerned about them.
That's fair. I'll acknowledge that our conversation with Charlie was a very angry one. We had just found out, essentially, that not only was our friend dead, but that he had been picked clean, like a fucking carry-on on a fucking battlefield. We had just finished talking about it in my home, which was seized, by the way, unlawfully. Just another little note on the law in this state. And there
I
it
have
probably
not
was.
seized any home.
There's a seizure notice on my home.
I have not authorized any seizures. If the what are they called? What is that organization? The REO. What does it stand for? The
Real estate
Real
office.
estate.
real estate, etc., etc., etc. If they feel that they have, or the Monroe Department of Revenue feels that they have a ability to seize your home, that's something for you to bring up as a matter of law. I have not authorized the seizure of any property.
Well, I mean, it was seized after the law searched it, so. And
I have
REO ain't
not
got no right
authorized.
to seize nothing that I've paid off fully and live in actively, so.
Well, that's a matter for you to bring forward in law, and I might be inclined to agree with you. But I myself, and I don't believe any of my judges, have authorized a seizure of any property related to your organization or your family or anything.
That's good to know, because that was just my house. There wasn't nothing in there to begin with. But that was